Hey everybody, so I just want to quick go over a list that I made for an Apocalypse game I played on Saturday. And the points that we had were 2,500 points per player, and we had 10 players on the table. So I did use Apocalypse formations, and let's just go ahead and get started. So see if I can get far enough back so you can see the whole. That's not too bad. That's pretty good. And alright, let's go over it. So, first wave, the units I started off with on the table, or moving on to the table, because I was on the attacker side and the attackers had to move on to table edge, from table edge. And basically I had a 20-man unit of warriors with a squad leader upgrade, splinter cannon, a shredder, and a shredder. And then I had a 10-man squad with a squad leader upgrade somewhere here, a blaster and a splinter cannon, and then just rifles. And then part of the formation that I picked was the Carnival of Pain. So the Carnival of Pain is it could be a mixed match of monstrous creatures with the Talus and the Chronos pain engines. So I got 2 Talus and 1 Chronos pain engine. And then I also just purchased 2 Venoms to support the ground force. And basically what I had with the intentions of this is that I knew that some people were going to be bringing knights. And I would just use my forces as cannon fodder to protect the rear of the knights. Now the one nice thing is, though, of course, with having a Hemiculoi, I just had the Hemiculoi attached to the 20-man unit, so that gave them feel no pain right away at the beginning of turn 1. And then with the Chronos, with the Spirit Probe, that also helped boost the feel no pain. So made that unit pretty resilient. And then this here was had that supporting another knight. Didn't get much action, but did get wiped out from a drop potting salamander unit. So nothing much happened to the monstrous creatures, just because of the fact that they had the high level feel no pain. I did lose a Venom to a Torrent Flamer from a Grey Knight, Dread Knight, and the other one was pretty much left unscathed. So the other list that was in reserve was the Dark Elder Web Strike. So it uses a large blast marker as a webway portal, and the vehicles can come from that webway portal. And so what we had for that was two troop choices, 2 10-man warriors with upgrade, blaster, splinter cannon. Same thing over here, upgrade, splinter cannon, and blaster. I also should mention that all my upgrades had blast pistols and haywire grenades. The same for this list here, and same for here. So there, and then they had their dedicated transports, because each infantry unit in the webway strike have to have a dedicated transport. And also with the webway strike, you're supposed to have at least 1 Ravager. So I do have 3 Ravagers, and I used the squadron formation from Apocalypse. That's the only time when Dark Elder will have a squadron, is when they use the specs from the Apocalypse book. So I just went ahead and squadron those up, even though I know that vehicles in a squadron don't really work out too good in 7th edition. But with the squadron, they had Shroud and Stealth, so that makes them not have to jink. And if a jink, it just gives them that much higher of a cover save. But with the Shroud and the Stealth, it makes them more sturdier gun platforms. And they were all kitted out with Dark Lances. So one unit or vehicle was being hit with 9 Dark Lance shots. Then just to make the amount of stuff I had to bring down small, I did one really highly elite list. The models here and the vehicle together came to 710 points. And basically what we had in there was, we had Drazar, let me switch this here. We had Drazar. I'm going to try to stable my hand here if I can. Just an Archon. Archon had Shadowfield and a Agonizer. And then we had the Vile Homunculus. And then we just had a Incubi upgrade. And then we had so a total of 7 Incubi, including the upgrade. The upgrade had Demiclaves. Of course, Drazar, he automatically comes with them. And so we had Soul Trap, Agonizer, Shadowfield for the Archon, and a Haywire Grenade. For Vile Homunculus, we had Helmet of Spite, the Misery Armor, the Kiss Pistol, Flesh Gauntlet, Item Vitae, and that was pretty much it. I think they both came out to like around 190, and Drazar's 190. So, but yeah, the Helm of Spite did manage to force a doubles peril on a Grey Knight player, but he was able to make his leadership test. And because of all what was going on, I forgot to mention that the Grey Knight player had to do a leadership test at -2 because of the armor misery, and at the time when that was happening was inside the vehicle, so that helped boost the bubble. So I think the Grey Knight would have took a little bit more damage because of the fact that they're -2 on the leadership. The only things that really had a lot of action was this unit here in turn 3, and oh yeah, we'll go back. So what happened in turn 3? Went after the Grey Knight player had a mix of Grey Knights and Blood Angels in a unit, and so I went after them just because if they broke free in turn 3, they could have gone after a bunch of the other vehicles that we had in the area that the Grey Knights were at. So I thought it'd be best to try to still tie them up with my unit. So I assaulted, but the Grey Knights had the spell, the psychic power on them that you needed 6 to hit them, and that really punked this unit. Even though I had 21 swings at AP2 just for the at initiative 5, just couldn't roll enough 6s to really do any damage to the unit, and that was at strength 4 for my unit, and for his unit in retaliation was swinging with strength 8, so that was instant killing. Even with the warlord with the Shadowfield issued a challenge, because that was the only way that we could get victory points, is if the warlord issued a challenge to another warlord and they had to accept. So I issued a challenge with my warlord, and didn't roll any 6s to swing, and in retaliation the warlord got hit with 2 attacks, and the very first save I rolled a 1, so that instant killed him because it was a strength. It was actually a strength 10 hit that hit him, so that wiped him out, and then took out one of the Incubis as a casualty. So yeah, that was really kind of surprising that that unit did so well and defensively against this. So nothing really great happened there then. The only really, but that was nice. Helmospite came into effect, and it was nice to have the Helmospite inside a vehicle just to kind of boost the distance by about 4 inches horizontally and about 8 inches lengthwise. Over here though, the Carnival of Pain came into effect really nicely with against the Grey Knight's Dread Knight, because anybody within 12 inches of the Kronos or Talos has their toughness reduced by 1, and the Grey Knight got hit by a cannon from one of our Space Marine vehicles, and that instant killed it. So it was kind of a tit for tat then for what happened against my guys versus what happened to the Grey Knight's Dread Knight. These guys here got blown up in a huge chain reaction from a bunch of Imperial Knights blowing up. Pretty much they got hit by, we had 3 Imperial Knights in a formation, and each one blew up, and these guys got hit by each explosion, and afterwards 2 models survived. 2 warriors survived. He got hit with a barrage, so it was like out of that barrage 5 models got hit, and it was 1 Talos that got hit, and him and 4 other warriors got hit. So all the wounds were going directly to him. Try to look out, sir. And passed 3, but failed 2 of the lookout sirs, and so he got instant killed based on the strength that they hit. So he was first casualty along with a couple warriors. So that's the list. Pretty long-winded here. Guess there really don't need anything else to mention. The vehicles, they had disintegrator cannons, ether sails, and that did come into play at turn 3. I flat out one of the vehicles to get to the objective that was in the center of the table. The Venoms just had the splinter cannon upgrade, so they were shooting 12 shots a turn. The Talos, they had splinter cannons, just their base value, but the twin link that came with it helped out a lot. As far as for the webway strike, it didn't really do me any good, mainly because by the time we got to turn 2, there was no room for deployment out of the webway portal, and it really pinched me in, and I just couldn't really do anything. There weren't any targets in line of sight to shoot at, and just really made the whole list pretty useless. Just because when you see the photos that I have recorded of the event, you'll see that there just was not a lot of room. So yeah, didn't really get to do much. I helped assist kill the 1 Dread Knight because of the formation rules. The Ravengers managed to plank off a couple of the Grey Knight's Terminators, and also stripped the hull points down from 1 Dreadnought. That was pretty much it. Other than that, I didn't get to do a whole lot with this, so I really don't know how effective it was, but it was still an interesting event to go to and play. Alright guys, thanks for watching. So we're at Games Workshop in Fountain Point. We're going to be doing an Apocalypse game today with multiple people. Each person's bringing in 250 points. There probably won't be much video in between the game, just snapshots and stuff, but I'll see what I can do for you. More to come. Bye.